Hi, my name is Jimmy Williams with NFL Draft Diamonds. And here with me today, I have a diamond in the rough I'd like you guys to meet. This is Dylan Brown. He is a defensive back out of Wisconsin River Falls. Nice to meet you, sir.
It's nice to meet you too. Thank you for having me. I'm blessed to be here.
So, Dylan, just kind of want to come out and say, I feel that you were probably one of, if not the best D3 talent coming out this season. I know that's a lot to say. That's a big thing on your shoulders, but um, once upon a time, I actually put you as well as one of your teammates on that top five prospect list. So, uh, perhaps for those listening, you can go to NFLDraftDiamonds.com and check out that article and everything else that we got going on. Dylan, go ahead, man. Introduce yourself and let's get started.
Well, my name is Dylan Brown. I'm from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. I'm a senior here at the University of Wisconsin River Falls. I play cornerback. I've played all 4 years here. Uh, started everyone. Haven't missed a game, and couldn't be happier where I'm at right now.
Yeah, and right now you're destroying your talent as you're waiting for more conference play this season. So
Sure.
Um, cool. Well, Dylan, want to kind of set the stage for people who really need to know you and your story. Um, Went to Homestead High School there in Wisconsin, and along with football, you were also a very good standout track and field athlete.
Oh, yes,
So
sir.
go ahead and talk to me a little bit about your days at Homestead, and any stories you'd like to share there.
Sure. Yep. I ran the 2 and 400. I finished fourth at state my senior year. Unfortunately, didn't have a junior year because of COVID. But yeah, 400 was definitely my strong suit for sure. It's a love-hate relationship, obviously. You you know, and the pain after sucks, but that adrenaline you get during the race is unmatched. But that definitely gives me I would say a pretty big advantage on the football field because technique wise, I would say I have a very good stride and I use that towards my advantage on the field, chasing receivers down. In my opinion, I don't think anyone's safe when it comes to long runs. That's what my coach has told me. Like I've chased guys down across the field with a 10-yard, the guys have a 10-yard head start. So that definitely gives me a pretty competitive
Well,
advantage.
Dylan, let's face it, there is a lot that you bring to the table as a prospect, which is obviously one of the reasons why I reached out to you for this interview. A very long rangey, defensive back. And as we go back to your days at Homestead High School, probably played more safety than corner. And again, like I said, standout track and field athlete. Just to mention some of the PRs, buddy. Very good numbers. Um, Going under 50 seconds, I think is phenomenal for the
Sure.
400, by the way. 49:57 is what I was able to pull up for you. I don't
Sure.
know how many guys can do that at any given high school, but that's obviously an awesome number. And obviously, did well with the 200 meter as well. Um, and like you said, very long stride because obviously we're looking at a guy who's pretty tall. So,
A little bit. I get it from my parents, luckily.
okay. So, Dylan, if you don't mind, just for the listeners, the watchers, tell people your current height and weight these days.
I am standing at 6'4", 200 pounds.
Yeah. So, you're getting a guy. I mean, if it pops off the screen like when you look at a player like you, amongst other players at the Division 3 level, you're like, wow, this guy, 6'3", 6'4", 200 pounds ish, give or take on a good day,
Yeah, on a good
Um,
day, that's for sure.
so yeah, so obviously you have a lot of boxes that are checked immediately when it comes to size and just kind of overall athleticism. And I think
Yes,
a
sir.
lot of a lot of NFL teams really want players like you. You get a guy with really good size, so it's kind of an obvious thing, man. It's one of the best things you bring to the table. Uh,
Yes.
so um, again, attending River Falls, like I'm thinking to myself, how in the world does a guy of your stature um end up at River Falls? So walk me through the recruiting process for you and tell me how you got there.
So actually I didn't really I didn't start getting looked at recruiting wise till my senior year. Uh Went to a bunch of different schools, couldn't really find a good fit. And then my mom actually went to high school with an old coach that went here. His name was Jason Wolf. And my mom did some self-recruiting thanks to mom. So got in contact with Matt Walker, talked to some seniors on the phone. Next thing I know, it's the middle of February. I'm riding in his truck, showing me around, and I just trusted my faith. I felt like this is my home. And next thing you know, it was like another week later, and I'm committed here. But yeah, it was definitely Walker was a really big reason why I'm here because he's one of the most he's gonna tell you up front what he thinks. He's very real. He's very honest. Um, he treats everybody how you want to be treated. He treats us like his sons, even though he has two of his own. So, but just that overall feel too, and I can even give thanks to my D-back coach, Alex Wood. He's just like one of the guys, honestly, too. He always listens to us. He asks if we want things to work on. He's also really real with us. And for him being a very new coach, he's only going into his fourth year of coaching. So he was always down to earth with us, ask us like what he needs to do to get better. And we honestly just kind of grew together. So just building and creating a legacy from the ground up.
Yeah, and hey, UW River Falls, obviously you guys have been doing pretty good so far.
Yes, sir.
And for people who don't know, who don't really pay attention to D3, perhaps playing in perhaps one of the toughest conferences. And I know, again, this year you guys have only played, I think, one in your conference so far, but like uh, this is a tough conference overall. Really has some of the best NFL prospects at the Division III level. So certainly to be amongst them, pretty awesome. What have you been able to do there at UW River Falls, like as a student? Can you enlighten me a little bit as to your major and what you're doing academically?
Yeah, for sure. So I'm majoring in exercise sports science with a minor in business administration. And then my goal for one day is to be a exercise physiologist, trying to work on uh, trying to accomplish people's fitness, wellness, and also their mental goals. Because I think just impacting people's life in any way gives me a source of sense of purpose and joy. And just I feel like that's a calling that God has also called for me to do. And it definitely gives me a sense of purpose after college as well.
I mean, obviously you're at this university. Got to take advantage of your situation. Get a
Right.
great degree, and hopefully whenever your football days are done, you at least have something to fall back on. So
Yeah,
it's
100%.
kind of nice. Again, as I had mentioned, I listed you on a list actually with one of your teammates in Carson Steen as
Yes,
some of
sir.
the best prospects at the Division III level. Talk about your guys' defense and the role that you've played, on that defense for the past 4 years.
Yes, sir. I would just say dominance. We I and we don't have a hole in our defense. We haven't had a hole in our defense for 2 to 3 years, in my opinion. Like we got guys like Michael Brown on the other side. We got our free safety Aaron Borgeting. We got our two weak safeties starting right now, Andre Hall and Andrew Schumacher. And you can say Andrew Schumacher is a linebacker for if you just look at the size of him. Uh, our two linebackers, Cade Schmidt and Gage Tim, and then our guys up front, Jack Olson, uh, Carter Quam, Carson Steen, and Ian Gold. Like all those guys, we just for for not playing 3 months out of the year, those 9 months we're all together trying to lift, we're just grinding, working our butts off, trying to and be the best defense that we can be. And what makes us successful is that we're always on the same page. Even if it's wrong or right, we're always on the same page. We're always communicating like it's a conference out there. We're screaming at each other. And then one thing that I think separates us from a lot of defenses is that it's the simple saying, bend, don't break. We all like you can score like you can drive 80 yards down the field, but you still got to score still. When one of my highlights of my career, it was the end of this. It was starting to become the end of the second quarter against Platteville last year. They were on the 5 yard line, and they got a unfortunately Andrew got a PI on the 5 yard line, so they started a whole new set of downs, and it was 4th and 3, and they ran a reverse, and we stopped them on their own 2 yard line or on our own 2 yard line going into halftime. And that just really proved that no matter what scenario or where you are on the field, you really gotta work to get through us to score, and it's never going to be easy.
Yeah, and all of those guys you mentioned, man, like every single one of them obviously doing well this season.
Yes, sir.
Just kind of looking at this season overall, man, I mean you've been destroying some opponents. Looking
Sir.
at like the past three games, I mean, you've annihilated them with an average of like 58 points or something crazy like that.
Yes, sir.
So, definitely had an awesome year so far. Again, just kind of want to put the spotlight on you here real quick before we move on. Again, it brings a lot to the table with obviously your overall size, athleticism. One of one of my guys who does reports highlighted things like some solid ball skills and your ability to really attack the run game and defend that effectively. What else do you feel separates you as a prospect? Is there anything else that we haven't mentioned so far?
I would say also, uh, I would say I'm fairly above the average corner when it comes to strength. I can bench 315 for three. I have a 460 pound squat. Just around like those numbers because I want those numbers because it's also that helps in the run game. Obviously, if you got to do with a freaking 300-pound pulling guard, I gotta be able to take him half on, and hold my ground. And that's another big reason I also put on 15 pounds this offseason was to help my team in other ways that normal corners can't.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people might see you transitioning to the next level as a safety. Again, that's no
Right.
negative on you. I just feel like, you get a guy of your size, especially since you've beefed up a little. It's
Yes,
kind of
sir.
nice to be able to have a guy like you who can come down and really attack a running back. I was just watching a little bit before we got on here, and you took out a guy like in the backfield, being like 10 yards away, which is something you can do on a regular basis if someone asks you to do that.
100%.
I know you played a lot of safety during your time in high school, but during your time there at River Falls, like, is there any particular I mean, have they used you in a lot of facets? Like, have you been playing off man? Like, can you talk a little bit about how you've been used?
Uh, Definitely more of a Dylan go guard number one and take him out of the game when it comes to a man perspective. But definitely when it's let's say pro tight end wing set and I get a good ball key, they tell me just go make the play if you can. And no, that's also where my speed comes in. If I see if it's a bubble pass on the other side of the field, I can go take ground away and go help out our other guys on the field.
Yeah, and obviously you guys have done a good job You mentioned a lot of your teammates there, which is great. Um, and also maybe some other people along the way. Um, Talk about some of your biggest influences, whether it be football people or family, friends. Like, who's been your biggest influence over this journey of yours?
For sure. Definitely, I'll start off with my dad and my mom for sure. We come from a very athletic family. You know, my mom played basketball. My dad played football in college at the University of Wisconsin Stevens Point. Um, so just him having that football background and him just he just passed on that love for the game onto me, and that definitely I know that makes him happy. But and then just also when it comes to man, like the guys I met here are, I would just say, just second family, just brothers, like guys that I know I'll probably just have at my wedding one day, and guys that I'll continuously talk to for on can't even name a date, honestly. And it's guys that like I would do anything for, and they're the reason why I play my my heart out on Saturdays.
Yeah, and again, just kind of focusing on the team right now, doing very well, undefeated right now.
Yes, sir.
Um, the season's wide open as to who's going to take charge of your conference and perhaps move on to the playoffs.
Yes, sir.
How are you guys going to put it all together and at the very end, maybe even be a champion? So
Uh,
talk about team success.
Sure, just definitely just trusting one another. When times get hard or we face some adversity, you know, just hunkering down and be like, all right, guys, we know how good we are. We just gotta trust each other and make plays one after another because you never know what play is gonna win the game. So, and even like whatever what outcome we face, we just because something our Coach Walker likes to say is every week is a faceless opponent. And that just has to deal with, you know, just how good because I call it, I think the WIAC is personally the SEC of D3. Like every week, like 5 out of the 8 teams in our conference are ranked. And that's like that's you don't see that in any other conference. So and just you know, battling every week like you're just like you're preparing for the Stag Bowl every week.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, maybe geographically it's more like the Big Ten.
Yeah,
Um,
I guess you could say that right there.
but I think, yeah, I mean, obviously you made your point, and I mentioned it earlier. There's a lot of great talent overall in that entire conference.
Homestead.
And so you're matched up against quality opponents day in and day, week in and week out.
Yes, sir.
And so we'll see what happens as obviously have to, face some tougher opponents
Right.
as this season progresses. So we'll see. As we kind of look back and look at, really I don't know, what's happened over the past, several seasons. I mean, again, started pretty much every game. Um, what's been perhaps your biggest highlight? When we talk through some of the things that you've done, can you walk me through like maybe one of your best moments?
Best moments for sure. Would definitely be my freshman year when we participated in the first Isthmus Bowl game because I've never been a part of like just such a winning team because like yes, like I came from a Homestead that has a history of being very successful, but I've never been part of a team and has have did such a significant role to be that reason for success and just winning that last game in that Isthmus Bowl, just seeing like my future is so bright and all my coaches coming to me like you're gonna do great things here and like you're gonna be very successful and like you're gonna help our team accomplish really big things. And then just certain plays and a lot like and I can talk about like a lot of plays that don't even have to do with me. It's like a team just watching other guys be successful and watching them work hard all summer. Like even guys in our JV game just playing their hearts out, accomplishing goals that I just watching them work hard all fall camp and making big plays. But one play that definitely stands out would be I don't know if I already talked about it. That goal line stand against Platteville last year, just
Yeah, you
like
did.
just 3 yard line, man. Is like they have every right to score, and we just didn't break no matter what. We have that constant, just that constant motor. Like you're not gonna like we're gonna try our hardest not to let you guys score.
Hey, and I don't know if there's a better feeling
Just
as a
going in the
defensive.
half too. Oh man, that's I
I mean, shutting down somebody who's literally right there,
yes sir,
and that's got to be one of the best feelings as a defensive team as a whole.
100%.
Um, cool. So, yeah, hopefully, some more of those moments as
Yes
this
sir.
season progresses. I do want to take a moment to meet the guy under the helmet, this Dylan Brown. What else about you do we need to share? Do we need to know? So, hobbies, interests, special talents, anything else that you want to share about yourself? Hit me with something.
I mean, I would say that besides football and lifting, very social guy. I love hanging out with my roommates. Just getting to spend time with them and get those just have those heart to hearts. Just spending time with my teammates too. I'll hop on the game obviously when I can. Uh, but besides that, just I'll take love. I love being outside, except when it's 5 degrees. But
Or
uh,
less.
yeah, or less. But it's definitely is very social when it comes to just spending time with my teammates and t taking advantage of the time that unfortunately don't have that much left. So
Yeah. Dylan, let me ask you a couple other questions again, just for fun. Hopefully, some quick question answer
sure.
period. Favorite breakfast cereal?
Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
Cinnamon
I
Toast Crunch.
I
That's
I, I had a bowl of that last night.
okay. So not breakfast, but more snack. But that's
Yeah,
fine. That's
yeah.
fine. Cool. Favorite superhero?
Flash,
Flash. Okay. That's
Flash.
that's kind of nice to hear, especially
Hey
coming
man,
from a guy
all I'll
who's
say is
pretty
yeah,
fast.
yeah. All I'll say is that it's kind of OP when you can go back in time by yourself.
Yeah, what did he call that? It's like a speed force or I forget what
Yeah, yeah, 100%. Yep.
something like that.
Sure.
Cool. Is there perhaps a talent that you wish you had? Again, I'm not talking about football generally, but like anything else.
Talent I wish I had. Hmm. I wish I could juggle. I think juggling is really cool. Just like juggling multiple things at once. I think that's pretty sick.
Well, I mean, probably something worth learning. Would
Sure.
certainly help your hand-eye
Yeah,
coordination.
I was just about to say hand-eye coordination.
Um, I was thinking more so along the lines of like, sometimes people want to learn like another language or like,
Yeah.
some other like skill. Like I wish I knew more about cars, stuff
Oh,
like that.
my dad, if I ever have a question about cars, my dad is the guy to go to.
Hey, that's good to know.
There.
Definitely soak up as much knowledge from him,
100%.
while you can. So is there perhaps a celebrity that you'd love an opportunity to meet, whether it be an athlete, musician, or an actor?
Definitely be an athlete, but God, there's a lot. There's a lot for sure. I think unpopular opinion definitely would be Darrell Revis because he was that guy that, he didn't have the stats. He was because one thing with the NFL, it's hard for a corner to be so dominant for so long. And he probably had the most dominant 2 year span of any cornerback that to ever live, shutting down receivers like uh Chad Ochocinco, Jerry Rice, Randy Moss, like those guys on a continuing basis. And no one really talks about him because he had the stats. So I would love to get down and talk to him like, hey man, like what motivated you? And obviously like skill wise, I'd love to get some secrets, but
Yeah,
for
was gonna say, I think the biggest compliment that you can give a corner is not throwing in his direction.
100%.
And I think that that's what Rivas had there for a few years span for sure. So, um, do want to kind of wrap up our time. Want to try and pick at you a little bit, see much more about you. Very interesting to hear your take on Rivas. I don't know, is that the kind of guy you want to emulate, or is there perhaps another
Yes.
guy in the league right now who you really study?
I mean, just I get that just like I mean, just Durrell just being so dominant in man coverage and also just guys like uh primetime Deion Sanders and even guys in the league like Patrick Surtain, guys who are new but also shutting down receivers that are, have spent a couple more years in the league than them. But, just football is a crazy game. Like there's guys that will be loud for a couple years and then be off and then go on again. But it's crazy that Patrick hasn't spent more than shoot 5, 10 years like in the league, and he's already adjusted pretty quick. But definitely, I try to implement my game to Darrell Revis because he was. If you, I do watch the podcast where Ocho and um but Ocho was just talking about how strong Darrell was, but he was also fast and he's smart, and that's the kind of guy I kind of want to uh I want to imitate to my best ability.
You know how some DBs are like uh talkers? Like, are you
Sure.
one of these guys who tries to get into the head of your opponent?
I wouldn't honestly, no. I'm definitely more of a silent killer. Definitely don't really talk unless talked to. And I would say that's more of the other guy on the field, Michael Brown. Definitely more of the wants
Okay, okay.
a little more.
Uh
So he
nice
is all
little
talking for me. So
no. Nice little insight there. Appreciate it. Dylan, do
100%.
need to wrap up our time. This has been great. Just getting to know you and you on the field, off the field. And just the fact that I feel like you do have a lot to bring to the table as a prospect. As we wrap up our time, take one last moment to tell people why they're sleeping on you, man. Why you'd be a good addition to any team at the professional level. So go ahead and hit them with your pitch.
I would say that you are not going to get a more hardworking just overall athlete in the DB room because I will be blessed that every opportunity that I will be that I will take, I'm gonna use to my full advantage. You're gonna get a loyal, dependent, and reliable guy to make sure that can always do their job to their best ability, but is also a very good teammate as well. I always make sure I always want my teammates to succeed. Um, I am very good at staying in the present because we have a saying around here, it's what's important now. And so as long as I'm here and I'm present and I'm at practice, my full attention's at practice. I'm not worrying about things that are going around like class, home life. Like I'm very and just very, very, very dependent. And I would say if whoever gives me an opportunity to play at the next level, I promise them that they will not regret that decision.
I mean, nice to say that you sometimes you have to be short-sighted when it comes to being a player,
Mhm.
especially because I mean you're not going to win every rep,
Right, 100%. Just
and so
always,
you move on.
yes,
The
sir.
next
Every play.
because the next rep is something that you have to win.
Yes,
So it's
sir.
nice to be able to kind of put that out there and kind of hang your hat on that as a player because you do have to kind of live in the moment. But
100%.
um, Dylan, definitely, great meeting you, and do want to wish you, as much success as possible throughout your journey, and really just best of luck the rest of the season too. Okay.
Awesome. I appreciate you, Jimmy, for having me here.
Sure, no problem. Once again, Dylan Brown, defensive back, Wisconsin River Falls. Check him out this season.